It is 9:19. Enough time to make, you guessed it, another bottle. So in this case here, we're going to rework this Dove Man soap bottle. This packaging design has actually some very interesting features to study and rebuild. Rebuild because this is based on a scan, which I will share with you. More about that in a moment. And when we take a look at this packaging, what is quite interesting is the bottom looks like an ellipse, the top not really, and then the side has actually the like an edge that is sharp, and then at the bottom feathers out bigger, and the cap is actually slightly arced, so it's an interesting compound curve. Now we'll throw in a few interface elements, and this all can be built via the loft, and I will show you then how we can take this scan and analyze it and then rebuild it. So to start, we do not create a new design. Go to File and Open. In the description of the video is the download link. Download the Fusion file, unpack it, and then we open it. Inside the Fusion file, you have the scan model, including also an image for the logo, which we will use later. And I already have the display set to shaded, so we do not see the polygon lines and can really try to rotate this object around and pay attention to how the highlight actually changes on it. Very good. So let's assume this is something we modeled out of foam, and we would like to build now a clean cat version. Obviously, we need to figure out how could we build this. So it's cylindrical, not cylindrical, I mean it's vertical, so it's some sort of an extrusion, one could think. Somewhat like an elliptical base and two arcs, something on top. And as I said, could be a loft. Okay, so now we need to figure out how and where do we actually start? And we have this really strong line here. And as I mentioned before, down here, this is very round and this will be done via a fillet. So there are two ways how to start. Let's first create a construction plane, and then we move this one up 190. Very good. On this construction plane, I would like to place a section view, because then there we can really nicely see one arc or curve and the other one. Let's add a sketch on this. Go to top view, very good. And then we could think, okay, well, this probably is an arc. Yeah, actually looks pretty much like an arc. And then this is another stretched arc. And oh, this is way too far. Yeah, that doesn't really work. So maybe this is actually a fit point curve. Oops, wrong way. Click, click, and click. Very good. Now I did it wrong again. One more time. Click, click, and click. There we are. Very good. Okay, so escape. Then I can bring this one down a little bit. Very good. So, and this might actually work. I can pull the handle out a little bit. You see then this straightens this. Very good. So a little bit of tidy up. This handle I want to be horizontal, so it doesn't rotate. And this point I want to be centered there. Also, the point of my arc I want to be centered. And let's actually jump down, maybe bring this one to there, bring this back. And you see how the arc has a little bit of seizures. So this point and this point we can make horizontally constrained. So when I move 1 point, you see now how the rest deforms too, or so the other one moves. It's kind of like a symmetry because they're horizontal and then this point is vertical constraint. This I can bring up a little bit, bring this down. Yeah, plus minus, maybe a little bit higher. Yeah, maybe like this. This looks actually pretty good. Just a tick further up. Okay, let's say this is good for a start. Then this section view we can turn off. Now the next sketch or cross section we create can either be at the base, or I do this actually here at the center. And I will actually go with the center for a very simple reason. Check this out. So I make this 80. Also there I do a section analysis and then add a new sketch. I will hide the other sketch so it's easier to see what I'm doing. And in this case here now, I will create, everything out of a fit point curve. I can actually delete this extra point. So when you have more than 3 points, you can just simply delete one. Then horizontal, vertical, constraining everything this way. We create with the fit point curve, not really a symmetry. You see how this changes. So I will add myself here a line and then escape and symmetry constrain these 2 points to this line. Good, that is working better. Here, pull this out. Now to make sure that this handle is not crooked, we make this horizontally constrained. Very nice. And now I need to bring this to kind of like the corner. Also here we can see now this is not perfect. So let's pull the handle out. Also here, horizontal constraint. Yeah. Okay. The scan or the model is a little bit rotated, so I'm not 100% able to place my symmetrical sketch onto the edges of my mesh. This is also okay. With that said, keep in mind when we make a foam model, it's not machined, so it has inaccuracies in it. And the scan we have here is not meant to be a one-to-one perfect goal to rebuild. It is more a three-dimensional blueprint, like a sketch to model over. Okay, anyway, finish sketch. Now, let's turn this off. Turn this off. Show this one. And we can now go ahead and say loft U to U. Okay, so look what we have. So this top profile lofted to this bottom profile, and we have this really nice edge. Does this actually line up? We're pretty close. Maybe this we bring over to there, tick. Oh, careful how we are moving it. So I dragged it, but maybe I should just only actually move it in case the software allows me to do this. There, okay. Yeah, this is better. Very good. Yeah. Very nice. When we zoom in, maybe we can actually move this a little bit in smaller steps. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So let me show you actually a really interesting step now. So we'll go to the push and pull and we select the top face and we continue pushing it. And look at that. You see how this gets smaller. So we actually expanding it. Okay. Let's take a look at the bottom. Zip. Wow, look. Was actually a really good match. Look at that. Perfect. Very nice. Here I don't really know how far, so I will bring this down maybe to here. Okay, very good. So this is actually working out extremely well. So technically speaking, we rebuilt or we reversed engineered ourselves the raw piece we actually need. So we could keep this design as is and then start cutting this piece into parts we need, or we could add actually on these caps new sketches and project the sketches or these edges into the sketches so we have truly a bottom and truly a top sketch if we want. For me, this is actually, in terms of process, fine. So let's actually continue working with what we have. Because again, I think about this a lot working with foam. This is my raw piece. I actually shaved the front and the back face. Now it's time to work on the top and bottom. Let's go split body by the bottom plane. And maybe now I will turn on this here. So there you see, there's actually a small strip here. This piece we will remove. Now I have actually a perfect flat piece on the ground. The top remains where it is right now. This is very good. The next step would be to figure out how do we do actually the fillet. So let's go to fillet here. Select this and then we can round this. Okay. So we see what's going on. Yeah. 7 millimeters. Okay, good. But at the bottom, I want this to be wider. Yeah, look at that. Huh? So maybe 33, but then here on top, that obviously doesn't really work. So how can we do this? Well, here we need a variable radius fillet. So the first one, maybe 6. Then we have somewhere a second one that is 6.2. And at the end, we set 33. 30, 10, 20. Oh, 20. Oh, yeah. Okay. I had this actually set first to chord length. So the values were different. 20 looks actually pretty good. And then based on where this point is, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, you see how we're moving actually that transition further down or further up. Let's keep this at 0.6 right now. Because now I would need to know, well, where does it actually really start? Again, I can do this by rotating and pay attention to the highlight. Looks actually somewhere there my mouse is. Yeah, it's actually pretty close. Very good. So that means this fillet is pretty good. 6, 6, and 20, 0.6. Then here we do the same. So we said this is 20. This is 6. And then we have here at 0.6 another variable radius with 6 millimeters. Very good. Okay. Also we want this to be G2. so it looks better. Very nice. So let's turn actually the scan off. And there we can see, looks like a nice, somewhat elliptical shape. And here, this is also perfect. Cool. So now we actually took this raw foam model where we changed the front and back, and now actually removed the sharp edges at the sides and rounded it. Now it's time to cut off the top part. So for this, ideally, we will create a new sketch. And there we are. If we pay attention to maybe fit point 2, there. I'm not making this too big. With the M key, it's easier to move the point. Yeah, something like this. Okay, very good. Very nice. So then with this line visible, let's go to split body. This body split by this line. Okay, there that piece is cut. Pretty cool. Okay, yeah. Let's compare. Oh, the sides left and right are actually going further down. So how can we do this? If we look from here, we can see how this is slightly arced actually. So this is not just a straight cut from the side. So how can we create a surface that is not just bent along one direction, but two directions? We can actually go to surface and loft, and then we create left and right another of these arcs with a little bit of an offset, and then loft. Good. So this split command we delete. Then we create a construction plane. Maybe, let's say 50. Very good. A new sketch on it. And then this I will project in. So I don't have to redraw this perfectly. And to do this offset, well, I use the offset command. I can maybe drag this one down. Let's see if this process actually works. -2. Goodie. Okay, so we'll do the same on the other side. -50. Very good. New sketch on here, and then I will project this time the offset, because otherwise I would have to redo the steps. So if we now take a look from the side, look at that. 1, 2, 3. So let's go to loft. 1, 2, and 3. There you see the shape we have. Okay, it's slightly arced. No? Let's see if that works. So we go to modify split body. This one split by this face. And then, yeah. Yeah. Not really as much as we want, no? So it goes further down. So maybe this is the center. This is here. I double clicked the sketch for here and say -4. Maybe let's make this bigger. So it's a bigger cut. Oh, this might actually be even better. I will call this top center, because you notice it's very difficult to understand what is what here. And then maybe this is actually top right. Whoops, what did I do? Stop. Top right, and top left. Very good. So it's much easier to understand what is what here. And also here, maybe that is actually top left. That's actually not the plane. And top right. Good. So there are two things now I can do. First, when I go to top right and say show dimensions, I can actually from the outside manipulate this and then rotate around and see, is this actually getting closer? Oh, that's actually not too bad. Okay, because we are still cutting. Now, here is my cut design. Let's take a look. Yeah, actually not too bad. And this starts to look closer. Okay. I wanna show this one more time. And I could also actually go ahead and say, so you, instead of 50, maybe 30, or actually 35. Don't be so far away. Same here. Good. Now and then there we can clearly see we're really overshooting. So this may be -5. And this is getting a little bit better. -4. Yeah. Okay. So you see how this surface bends based on how far also these arcs are actually away from each other and also the offset. Think about this again. It's just a knife. We run through a piece of cookie dough. That's essentially what we did here, or through a piece of foam. So this looks actually pretty good. Yeah, let's keep it at this. And these two elements we don't need anymore. So select and remove. Very good. Yeah, perfect. Actually, if we want, we might even... No, we can't delete those. Interesting. I was just curious if we could delete sketches. But these are bodies which are the result of sketches. So we can't really remove sketches like how we removed bodies, actually. Okay, good. We also learned by trying to figure out what doesn't work. So let's take a look from the front. Yeah, we're actually pretty close. Down here, this is a little bit different. This is all good. The rounding is a little bit different, but the rest is actually pretty good. Very close. Very nice. Okay, so let's finish the detailing. There is a cut here. How do we do this? And then how do we do actually the dove? All this we hide. We can go to a side view. And then from the side view, you see, oh, this is just a linear cut. Okay, so easy. New sketch on this plane. Somewhere here, a line, horizontal, and then zack, point, and there. Okay. And this should actually be also a closed object. I will, via the coincident constraint, glue these two pieces together. Maybe bring this a little bit further in. When I take a look at this piece, oh, haha, this has to go further out. Maybe this I will arc a little bit more and make this better by putting this point at the center. Why do I do this? Right click, curvature control. And when I move this one to there you can see how this bends really most down here, not up there, or the opposite. So I wanted this to be rather nice and clean. This is still not perfect. This might be best. So it turns, however, now into an arc. That's also not good, but this is not good. This is more relaxed because 1 point, 2nd point, and that one is in the center. Good. Now, let's turn this off. Very good. Yeah. So, with this sketch created, we can then go solid, extrude this one, and go this way. We say distance all. So it just simply cuts through, and then we say symmetry. And there we are. Look at that. Super easy. This is a really terrible sharp line. So for presentation aesthetical reason, let's go constant radius and round it a little bit, maybe 0.5. Okay. Now this doesn't look too bad. So this is basically the cavity where the fingernail from the bottom can lift up the cap. We also can see here there's actually a line that separates the cap, and then here it separates the cap horizontally. So technically speaking, this is all at one line here. And then, so this is not horizontal, but actually this line we skip. We just can, for example, put this piece in, and then we do the dove. Okay, so in this sketch, we go back, double click onto the sketch feature, and then I just draw a horizontal line. Okay, you don't see this, but escape. I had actually a small artifact there. And then this line, horizontal, very good. So with this line, we can now split this body. Zack, there we are. Ooh, that's actually really high. Actually in the scan, it's pretty high too. Okay, good. Maybe this one we put a little bit further up. Oh, interesting. You see there's a yellow highlight. Because when I move this one up, it tells me, hey, or we see something is missing. Right click, review warning. It can't find whatever to extrude. Okay, easy way to fix. Right click, edit feature. To profile distance. Yeah, just cut here. Suck. There we are. Good. That's nice. Okay. So I have the top and the bottom. Here's a really simple trick to kind of like fake these lines where, for example, a cap snaps onto the bottle. I simply round each piece with a really small fillet. And if I want, I could keep these two bodies separate, or I join them back together. But you see now we have a really nice simple groove. It's an interesting interface element, not too sharp. Okay, good. And let's say now at this point, we want to go back and say, well, maybe we want actually to have this be at a line. This is also a line. Can we do this? Yeah, so, okay, well, let's give this a try. So we go back to here. Then we might actually have to delete this one. This point, I would like maybe to stay where it is. And then here, I will extend this line. Okay, so these two lines now, you see they are parallel constrained, which means when I move this, the other one rotates with it. Okay, good. So Can try to eyeball it. Here, this we unfix because this now I can move up further into the cavity like there. Yeah, okay, good. So as you can see, this actually updated pretty well. That is good. This fillet here I have there right now, so that one I don't need anymore. Let's delete it. Cool. Okay. And now I would like to split that body. So we go split body, this one by this line. Suck. Very good. And then we do pretty much the same trick here. This 1.2. And here 0.2. Again, this is totally wrong, but this is more like a small trick to inscribe a surface detail. And then we join these two back together. Okay. Not too bad. Maybe this one we could round a little bit. One. Yeah, this is actually a tricky one because of what's going on there. Here, we can maybe a variable fillet. So 0, 0, this is all good. 0 and 0. And then here at the center, so 0.5, there maybe we can add a fillet of 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters. Okay, good. There we can see actually what happens now. That's actually much better. Okay. And if this is not perfect, we could actually go back and then say, the start point. Yeah, actually the start point we can't move. This is really the start point. There is a little bit of rounding happening here. I can actually do the following. I put one there and one there. So they're all 0. That's actually more what I was looking for. 0.95, 96, 97. You see where this arrow goes to. And then here, this would be 3. Yeah, because it's the same value. Okay. Now when we zoom in, you see this is actually better how this here is sharp. Okay, cool. Again, this is totally wrong in terms of for manufacturing, but what we do here is simply detailing interface elements a little bit. And the variable fillet is actually quite useful there. Good. Since we did a lot of fillets, let's do another fillet here. Can round this. I don't really like the result. So here we'll go to chord length. That actually makes the look more even. Yeah, that is good. Very nice. And now we can create the dove. So I will show the dove. There's also a construction plane, plane 7. Let's make a sketch on plane 7. And the dove is actually very easy to do via the fit point curve from there, 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 I think, plus minus, and then let's rotate all this around. Right click, insert fit point, escape. Maybe actually not. Maybe it is here. This needs to be Ah, yeah, that's it. Need to move that handle a little bit, and maybe the same also here. There we go, this way, and then maybe this one I plus minus position to there, and a little bit more to there. Yeah, it's kind of like Illustrator. Very good. So that's good. Then 1, 2, and 3. We're ignoring that this is actually round. 1, 2, and 3. Escape and then move the points accordingly. So next fit point. Here definitely, for example, this needs to be pulled out. Very beautiful. And we can bring this further in. You see how this de-stresses that area. And then 1. Oh, no, not tangent. It did actually continue this being tangent. And I think this is just a 2-point, not 2-point, 1, 2, 3-point fit point curve. Maybe a little bit further in, and then this goes back. Yeah, there we are. Easy. So we just retrace the logo, but now how can we get this logo actually pushed onto that surface? Yeah, how do we do that? You remember we actually created here from there, and there actually a surface. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Then the next step is really important. We can actually take this and trim the outside away. Okay. And then we can go extrude. No extrude doesn't work. What about push and pull? We can push and pull, but then it actually moves the piece. I want to give this a thickness. Isn't there somewhere a thickening tool? Yes, there is. There, thickening tool. We go down by minus 1.5 millimeters. Very good. That's actually really nice. To help the software, we will extend the top surface by 1 millimeter. I'm going to explain this just in a second. So you see how this is outside, and then the rest we push to the inside. The reason why I extended this is without it, it would sit right on the surface, and this could be sometimes problematic for the software. In general, it's a math issue. So now I can go combine and say U minus this one. Sure, there we are. Maybe 1.5 was way too thick. So let's just go with 0.5 millimeter. And there we are. There we actually have that that logo quickly embossed by simply doing kind of like an extrusion of a surface that's bent by using the thicken command, and then use the solid combine and cut it out. Yeah, and maybe one last step. 5 millimeters. We could round this. Oh, it's at the bottom. Nobody cares, so G1 is good. Yeah, and I would say we actually rebuilt this bottle quite nicely. And actually it looks really well detailed. And if we would put this into a presentation to discuss, we clearly can see all the design features, the interface elements, and these separation lines. Again, even while they're completely wrong, it all makes totally sense that this is the top lid, this is the lid that flips up, here will be a live hinge, and this is the main bottle body. Okay, very good.